Hello and welcome back to another video in our series, which we are looking at all the desktop environments that are available on Arch Linux by installing them from the official repositories. And to find the desktop environments in the official repositories, we use the desktop environment page on the Arch Wiki, and in that the officially supported list. And we've been going through this list in alphabetical order, so now we'll reach the end of it with the letter X and the XFCE desktop environment, which tries to embody the traditional Unix philosophy based on modularity. And this is so modular that the XFCE panel is what I use with my DWM setup, for example. So on the XFCE page, we can find some basic description and installation instructions, tips and tricks, of course, as always on the Arch Wiki. And we find the information that first we should try the XFCE4 group, which will give us this very basic minimal install, and then we can get the XFCE4-goodies to add some extra plugins and a number of useful utilities. So if we take a peek into the Arch Linux repository and check out the XFCE4 group, we will find that it will basically have the file manager, it will have an application finder, the panel, power manager, the session manager, settings, and the terminal, and of course what we need for the desktop. So you could choose not to install everything from this group if you really wanted to. And what's really nice is that all these things are in the extra repositories, so there are only a few desktop environments. I think only GNOME, KDE Plasma, and XFCE are in the extra repositories. Everything else is in the community repository, which will mean that XFCE is going to be maybe a little bit better maintained than some other desktop environments. So sudo pacman-s xfce4, and once we type in our password, this should be a capital S, of course, and these are all the packages we want to install, so we will go and install all of them, of course, and once it is done, and it will be total 61 megabytes of installed size, and this includes the file manager and the terminal, and this is like already downloaded and will be installed soon. So let me boot into the XFCE desktop environment on Arch Linux. And we are booted into the XFCE desktop environment, and besides this being very blue from the background to all the icons, it is quite a nice layout. It's reminiscent a little bit to this to Mate and maybe the GNOME flashback thing. We have the application menu from in the top left corner from this top panel, which also has the 4 virtual desktops shown there. We've got, of course, the system tray with the network manager. Here we've got the, the power management applet. We have notifications. We have a very simple calendar and then a menu which will let us log the screen, log out, or shut down. Of course, lock screen will not work because the basic installation does not have a lock screen with it, does not have a screensaver installed, but this is what you got with XFCE, and you can install any lock screen. You will find it in the Arch Wiki how to do that. So we have the XFCE terminal right out of the box. We have this icon here. So this is a kind of this is another panel, of course. So this works as a dock, but this is also made of an XFCE panel, showing you how versatile this XFCE panel is. You can open Thunar here, which is, you can see my opinion. It contrasted to other file managers in my epic file manager video, if you want to take a look at that. I personally am not a big fan of Thunar, but a lot of people like it. So let's put it on second workspace, and you can see how each of the workspaces will have kind of showing you what part of the workspace is covered up with what window. This is a nice little aesthetic choice, and you can see that the dock is hiding if you have a window down there. We have the internet, which internet is not yet set up, so we can here, if we want to add the Qt browser here. And if we click on OK, then it should start up the Qt browser for us. And of course, it will once this loads up. But we also have the application finder in here, which we can just use to, I don't know, type in anything, and it will give us the relevant application. All right. So here we have Qt browser loaded up, so that's our default web browser now. So even if here in the applications menu we click on web browser, it should bring up a Qt browser window. Very nice. And this is just a tree view of our directories. If you want to browse through all of the, or if your home directory, you can do it directly from your desktop. And of course the desktop icons, which is a maybe controversial thing. I don't know, not many people, or rather, let's say there are people who have very strong opinions whether you should have or shouldn't have desktop icons. I personally use a window manager. I don't really use desktop icons, but I don't really have much against them. But once you have also the, the dock here and the icons on the desktop, I don't know. You can decide how you want to do it. It's your computer. So, what are the settings available for us? So, of course, we have not many things installed, of course. We have the bulk rename tool for the Thunar file manager, which many people praise and might be very useful. But let's go with the settings manager first. So this is a very big kind of settings selection we have here. This is similar to what you see in the Cinnamon desktop, for example. Maybe KDE has even more, but in any case, we can change our desktop appearance. So we could change to an Adwaita dark theme or from the regular Adwaita theme. We can go back to all settings here, of course, anytime we want to. We can change the icon theme, font, other settings which relate to that desktop. Here we could change, and all of the desktops, unfortunately, are very blue. But in any case, we can also just automatically change the backgrounds. We could select any other directory which you wanted to. So that's not going to be a problem. And it can randomize your desktop. So you can use it directly with XFCE. You don't have to install a separate program for that like you do on many other desktop environments. So desktop menu. I guess this is going to be whatever going to happen when you right-click on the desktop, so you can create documents, you can just browse the applications, you can change the desktop settings, open a terminal, create new launcher. So launcher is something that launches a specific program. It's not just an icon for a program, but here these are launchers too on the panel, or not panel, this dock. And this launcher could contain multiple programs, I think. You could delete or add more things here. You can specify a very specific command here, what working directory it should use, and add the comment. So you could do the same thing here by creating a launcher. I don't know, maybe simple terminal, and then the command will be just st. And the icon, we could get like a terminal icon for this and create. And now if I double click on it, it will open up st for me. And so this is a launcher. This is created a .desktop file though. So maybe this launcher is just like, okay, it's more simple than what we get in the, down there. So never mind my previous comment about that. We can go to file manager settings, notification settings. We can change the panel settings, which will be an interesting thing because here we can just go through. You can see this is bottom panel is panel 2, and we could increase its length if we really wanted to. But here it's automatically increase the length from 0 to whatever we need. And panel 1 is just fully 100%. We could, of course, decrease this. And automatically hiding the panel, switch it to vertical or switch it to a desk bar, which is kind of weird because it's vertical, but everything is in horizontally. down there, so maybe we have to increase the row size a bit for everything to appear, but then these icons will be very big, so never mind that. Alright, so this is kind of the panel's settings. Let's put it back to horizontal. I wonder if I can put it to the bottom somehow, but I cannot just drag and drop there. Anyways, I wonder how do we know that panel 2 is on the bottom and panel 1 is on the top. Anyways, so we can change the appearance and add new things and configure things here. So applications menu, which is this here, we can change its configuration, so we can change the name, show icons in menu or don't show icons, show application description in tooltip, or you can even just use a very different menu instead of the auto-generated one, and things like that. Window buttons, this is the list of your currently used windows. It could be a flat button, you can hide the show button, the button labels if you like these. Windows 7 and up style icon toolbar over there. You can group windows. So for example, if I open another terminal here, you can see that it appears only once, and I can click on it to show all of them. But if I switch on the grouping, then it will appear as two separate buttons. So you can change it to your heart's desire. You can even change in what order they should appear. Timestamp, window title, group title, etc. So this will be ordered here. Other things are, I think, kind of self-explanatory. These action buttons, you can set up which kind of actions you want there to be. And this is the panel settings. So this is a lot of things we have here. You can set up terminal, window manager. So that's one, I think, maybe one more interesting thing, because, and it is interesting in a sense that I am not really sure how I feel about it. Because let's move this to workspace 3. So now I have a terminal window here, and just observe the difference between the window decorations. So if I change the window manager settings, some of the applications will change their look, and wow. Okay, so these kind of look similar to what we got here, but my feeling about this is that some of the more modern applications which run maybe on GTK3 will have the GTK3 style window decorations, but others will get whatever we set up here. So, but the nice thing is that you can just drag and drop. You can maybe even remove the maximize button from over there, or this shade, or what is this called? Yeah, shade, if you don't like that. And what is it? This is just menu, which is the icon that acts as a menu. So this is kind of how it looks like. Maybe just go back to default, and that will look quite similar to whatever we got here. So what about Thuner? Thuner also has the default window decorations. Anyways, other things, we can tweak the window manager, set up our workspaces, change color profiles, display settings. These are all what you think they should be. So keyboard can have you set up shortcuts for your applications, and you have accessibility. You can change the default applications here, which we already set up. The Qt browser, there is no mail reader yet, Thuner and terminal emulator, so we could set up ST as our default terminal emulator if we wanted to. And default applications for the different file types can be found here too. Session and startup will let you set up some auto start things, and settings editor if you really want to go down in the weeds but don't want to edit the config files themselves. You have this option there. Alright, so we already spent a lot of time here going through the variety of things you can set up in XFCE. So let's really quickly sudo pacman-s XFCE 4-goodies. Hopefully this is the correct name of the package. And yeah, let's just install everything here. And we will take a look at these. So these are mostly plugins. There are a few for the XFCE. What is this? Bar up here. Some of them are, or panel rather, and some of them are additional programs. So now we've got a mousepad, which is the text editor. So this even knows syntax highlighting. So if I go to open, maybe go to home, bin, and dwm and config.h. Does it do syntax highlighting? No. Well, maybe I have to change the color scheme to classic. Yeah, for example. So if you set up a color scheme, it will do the syntax highlighting for you. Solarized dark is a very popular color theme, for example. All right. Other things we've got here is notes. So these are sticky notes we can just keep around if we want to, and then it appears on the tray and can browse back anytime. So if I type something here, close it, open it again, what I typed in there stays there, which is good. Screenshot tool, which is very simple, very basic, but it does what it needs to do. What else do we have here? The risotto image viewer got installed. A task manager got installed, which is an interesting thing to have, I guess. And we can see the CPU and memory usages over here. Maybe we could even try to stop or terminate programs if we really wanted to do from here, but I don't really have any good experience with that. We've got a Perl media player installed and a dictionary. So these are kind of the extras we've got. So we could search for desktop on our dictionary server. And of course, we can change what kind of dictionary server we want to use. We can add web servers, web services to use, which will open our query in the web browser, things of that nature. And I guess XFburn for creating CDs and DVDs. Yeah, and a sensor viewer to check your CPU temperature if you are not running a virtual machine. Let's remove this over there. All right, so these are those things. What did we get in the... Oh no, I need a panel setup. So panel preferences, and let's go to items. So we've got a lot of new things here in the things we can add. We could have weather updates. We can have windows, switch between open windows using buttons. So I guess this is going to be something similar. Oh no, this is exactly the same. So what is window menu? A window menu is this. We just get a plus icon here and we can check all the windows that are running. Okay, so let's remove these two things from, remove, thank you. Timer, wireless network status, command line interface, and what I really like is the Genmon. So where is XFCE's general monitor, in which basically what you can do, generic monitor, is you can just execute any kind of command in a specific intervals. So save, I guess, yeah, and now it just says Linux over there. That's the Genmon tool. And you can, of course, find the documentation for it and make it output anything you want over there. I use it for a few things on because I use XFCE panel on my setup, and this is a very good thing for that. You can have the dictionary plugin, CPU graph, and what I really want to take a quick look at, Pulse Audio plugin. That's also nice to adjust audio volume through Pulse Audio. Screenshot tool has things for our there, and the Whisker menu is what I really want to talk about here as our last thing to mention, and that is because Whisker menu is an alternative to the applications menu. So maybe best thing would be if I move these two next to each other. So we have the application menu, which is very simple, and then we have the Whisker menu, which is, more kind of more modern style and has your username here. You could search. You can open the settings directly from here. You can lock your screen, because now we have a screen lock. Actually, that's something I didn't say, but we should have a screen lock, and maybe I will have to log out and log in for the screen lock screen to work. So let's do just that, and I will be back after I log back in. So I logged out and logged in, and what is very interesting is that we've got the terminal and the file manager windows opened back up just as we left the session. And so now if I go lock screen, now of course after restarting, the lock screen actually works, and I can lock my screen with the XFCE screen locker. So what I was doing here is properties of the Whisker menu. So we could have just show all icons, and then it will show all icons, I guess. And the show as list, it gives us them as a list as it was. Show as a tree is something I don't really understand what's the difference between this and the list, but maybe icons is a better way. We can add the title, icon and title, so our Whisker menu can look like this general application menu. In that sense, we can position categories, horizontally position categories next to panel button. So yeah, we can switch around where the categories are, and I guess you can find whichever layout you prefer. I think this is what I would like to use. Behavior, we can go to all applications as the default. So if we don't specify anything, or if we have more favorites, maybe we want to use the favorites there to show up first, or maybe we want the recently used to show up first. You can switch categories by hovering, which is my preferred method. I don't want to click on these things. Sort categories, stay visible when focus is lost. That will be, I'm not sure what that should be because it's not turned on. Oh, even if I try to click on something else, it's still keeping it focused. All right, so this way, yeah, I can see the difference. So I don't think I would take this in. Okay, so last thing, I don't really like how this looks, and we can see that there are a lot of icons that are missing. So what I would do is actually maybe install a few additional icon themes. For example, the arc icon theme or deepen icon theme, arc icon theme, deepen icon theme, and maybe I would like to install the adapt GTK dash theme, arc GTK theme, and maybe breeze GTK just to have a few. And let's see if oh no, arc, this is our, because arc is with a C, of course. So let's install all of these, and once these themes are installed in our system, we can go back to our settings and apply them. So let me just go to what is settings and appearance here. And let's wait until the things appear. So you can see the arc icon theme has already appeared, and that will lead us to have better icons for example, in our file manager, that's a little nicer, and you can change to Papyrus or Papyrus Dark. You can see it has better icons for our launchers over there. And now styles. Okay, let me close this and open the settings. Again, you can see all these icons look much better now. And if you use this application menu, these changes will be even more satisfying, I guess. So let's go back to our appearance menu, and all these new things have appeared for us. So adapter, we can have arc dark. And you can see that this affects somewhat, I guess, the other window over there. But these themes are not applied to some of the applications. I guess it's based on whatever toolkit the application is uses, of course, which is kind of one of the banes of Linux desktop, I guess. C. This is another different icons. So I guess in conclusion, what I want to see, there's even like an octopus hanging your folders over there. So what I'm trying to say here is that all these different icon themes you can use to make your system look better. And XFCE gives you all the options. It unfortunately does not have like a like an built-in store for themes and icon themes, but it will show you whatever you can download from the Arch Linux repositories, or I guess it would work the same if you download something from the web and put it in your the proper user directory you have. That should be sufficient to change things. And I wish we would have the adapter in green here, but I guess that's my personal adapter variant I like, which I have in the AUR, I think, even though it's not been updated quite a while. So yeah, I guess this is the end of it. This is XFCE. Maybe one thing, if I go to logout, ... that will bring us to this screen, which we can use to switch user lock screen. Is there no lock screen here? I guess there is no lock screen here. That's a separate button. Oh, I need to unlock. Anyways, let's go and switch user. What will do that? Okay, that throws us back into the light locker. Anyways, we can come back here through light locker. All right, this is, I guess, the end of the video. The conclusion is XFCE is quite nice. Honestly, first I was thinking of using XFCE versus Budgie Desktop, but I liked the appearance of Budgie Desktop better, and then I also just liked the Cinnamon Desktop, and I never really used XFCE by myself, but going through this, I kind of understand why people like this DE that much, even though, you know, this is kind of weird that it uses so many, I guess it's GTK2 elements, but not for the settings panel. Whatever, this is the end of the video, and thank you for staying with me this long. And this is the last video of our tour of desktop environments. I will have like a video in which I will summarize my experiences. I did not delete any of the virtual machines I used in this experiment, so my hard drive is kind of filling up, but I will use these images to refresh my knowledge and maybe check if there were some recent updates that changed a few things. And I will make a tier list of all the officially available desktop environments on Arch Linux for our next video before we absolutely try to forget about the desktop environments. Alright, thank you for watching. Like the video, leave a comment if you have any suggestions or opinions that you want to share. And of course, subscribe to the channel for much more content on Arch Linux, free software, and everything else. Bye.